Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be cooking some lobster corn chowder and I want you guys to see how I made it. Here are my ingredients. I have the bacon, the lobster, the red peppers, onions, heavy cream, the potatoes, the corn, chicken broth, and the seasoning. So I first start by peeling the husk and the silk off of the corn. I have 4 corn stalks, so that's just what I use in my recipe for my family. Sometimes I use more, but this time I only got 4. So I go ahead and peel those off. Once I peel that off of there, I will rinse the corn off. It's been really cold here the last couple of days, so I woke up wanting some soup to make sure that we were staying warm, and this soup was just a little something different from the types of soup that I normally cook. So I was just excited to cook this tonight and get a little something different. So after I've rinsed off the corn, I will take a knife and cut the corn kernels off. Even though I'm cutting the corn kernels off, I'm not going to throw the ears away. I'm going to utilize the ears in the milk and the heavy cream mixture in order to get more of that sweet corn flavor from out of the ears. Now that I have all the corn kernels chopped off of the ears, I'm going to start by chopping up my vegetables that I'm going to use in the soup. And I start off with the red bell pepper. I like using this because it is a little bit sweeter than the green bell pepper. So I will use this in my soup. After I finish chopping up my red bell pepper, I'm going to chop up my yellow onion. And I used half of a yellow onion and half of the red bell pepper. Now I'm going to chop up my golden potatoes. I use like 5 or 6 golden potatoes in this only because it's 5 people in my family. And this should be enough potatoes. I didn't want it like too much potatoes, but I wanted enough. So this is a good amount of potatoes for us. I only have a family of 5, so this is enough. I didn't want too many potatoes. So after I do the potatoes, I peel the lobster out of the shell and get that ready to cook. I then move on to cook my bacon. I use 8 slices of bacon. And let me tell you, I love bacon. So after it got done cooking, the first 4 slices, I ended up having to cook an additional 4 because I ended up eating those 4. So, yeah, I just went ahead and cooked some bacon and made sure that was done. After my bacon is done, I'm going to take the bacon out and pour out a little bit of the grease. And I'm going to put the vegetables that I chopped up, the yellow onions, my red bell peppers, and some garlic, minced garlic. And I'm going to cook it in that bacon grease. And I'm just sauteing it so like the onions are a little translucent. I'm not going to cook it too much, but I'm just going to, cook it and saute them. I'm getting ready to set this pot to the side, and I'm going to get another pot so that I can go ahead and put my milk, 2 cups of milk, a cup of heavy cream, some chicken broth and a 1/4 cup of white wine. And this is where I'm going to add those 4 corn ears that I kept earlier. And again, the purpose of me utilizing those corn ears is to pull out the flavor inside of them, and it'll make the soup a little bit sweeter. And also it'll have more of a corn flavor. The corn ears did cook for about 20 minutes, so it should be nice and flavorful. After the 20 minutes, I take those corn ears out and I can discard of them. And then I start putting in the rest of the ingredients for my soup. So I'm going to put in those vegetables that I had sauteing earlier, the corn, the diced potatoes, and some seasoning. Y'all excuse the splashes of milk and those 3 potatoes that fell. I will clean that up and pick it up. So please excuse that. Everything has been added to the soup pot now, and I'm going to go ahead and put some seasoning in it to make sure that it's nice and flavorful. I do use seasoned salt and paprika. The paprika is not really for anything. It doesn't even taste like anything. It just gives it some color. After everything is in the pot, I do let the soup simmer for about 30 minutes, and that gives it time for all the seasonings to come into the different foods that I put in there, as well as gives the potatoes time to soften up and thicken up the soup a little bit. I do like my soup thick. I cooked some French bread with this, and I'm going to serve that with the soup. So that'll be a nice addition to my dinner. And that's pretty much how the soup turned out. Thank you for watching. And if you like this video, make sure you hit the like button.